Oh my God, why are we in the wrong spot right there? There we go. Happy Monday, everybody. It is February the 9th, the day after Super Bowl 60, which means we are officially in the off season. You are here live on the Fifth Quarter Sports Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Kevlar Treat 'em Swell, and I do my damnedest to make sure I treat him well.
Okay.
He might not always be there when you call, but baby, he's always right on time, getting here just when we started the show. Mr. Skip from Skip's Trophies and More, and Mr. Diamond Dirty D4. Hey, fellas, what it is, what it ain't, what up, though?
Nothing much. Skip, I'm going to send you something to your phone. Subject matter for tonight. Hey, good people. Happy that everyone's back. You know, football season over with. This is the off season. I know Skip wants to share where they went this past weekend. Wasn't this past weekend?
Yeah.
After, so I'll let Skip get into that. But thank everybody for tuning in and everything.
Okay. Go ahead, Kev. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Skip, take it away.
Last week, ladies and gentlemen, for you guys that did tune in, I told you about what Atlanta Cast Network, which is our parent company, it hosts this podcast, of course, and Atlanta CarCast, amongst others. We are doing what's called a Freedom Ride. My other podcast is Atlanta CarCast, and we do everything car culture, everything from bicycles to bikes to hypercars to everything. So what we're doing is doing a Freedom Ride in honor of the Freedom March that Dr. Martin Luther King and others did years back. And it's not political. This is information, education, camaraderie. We're just enlightening people. And we went up there, Miss TJ, myself, my wife, Miss Carla, one of the people that's taking the bus tour, Sherry, and Lady Icon of Street Royalty. We went up this past weekend to get a lay of the land, to take the tour ourselves, to make sure that when we take this group up there on the 28th of February, that we'll know, hey, go this way, do this, don't do that, and find out parking, et cetera. And when I tell you, the Legacy Museum in Montgomery, Alabama, is an eye-opener. If you guys, and I'm talking to y'all too, if y'all have nothing to do, y'all need to come. If you drive your own car, just come just to see it. Leave whenever you're ready. But I want, and this ain't gonna sound crazy, I'm just gonna say it. I want white people, Indian people, Asian people, especially, to come just see it so your eyes can be opened to what happened to us, y'all and us, in the past. It's heart-wrenching. Like we studied slavery. We ain't studied it, but we were taught the little we know about our past, et cetera, on both sides of the coin, Kev. And when it's in your face like that, man, it is heart-wrenching, to say the least. It's eye-opening, the things that they were subjected to back in the day, on up into when Rosa Parks with the bus boycott, et cetera. But the amount of history and stuff that we saw this weekend was truly just changed us mind altering. It's hard to explain. I just want people to go, if not for the education. We saw a lot of white people there this past weekend. A lot of foreigners, I can't speak to what they were, where they were from, but it wasn't just black people there. We saw a couple of charter buses look like a bunch of kids were there on a field trip, but it's great. I'm not going to, with this sports podcast, I just want to give you a touch on what we're doing. So go to Atlanta Cast Network, ladies and gentlemen. Put in Freedom Ride 2026. You'll see the link. Click on the link. It'll give you all the information. It's $10. No outrageous fees. $10. So with that being said, man, we're going to talk about some sports stuff here. I just wanted to get that out. Thank y'all for letting me have that little opportunity.
Yes, and like you was saying, Skip, we know this is Black History Month, but this history has taken place over years and years. And it's something, if you can, like Skip saying, if you can get your family, your kids, and especially the teenagers, if you have any in your family, and take them to get an understanding of a lot of history, because a lot of stuff is diluted. Even though they have an open mind because they got the phones and things of this nature, it's a difference when you see it in person. But yes, Skip, and kudos to Miss TJ, yourself, and Mister for putting this together, along with a host of others.
Right, and it's interactive too. There's a couple of parts of it where they have big touchscreen TVs, like 70-inch TVs everywhere. They have stuff where you walk through and it actually looks like it's actually happening, almost like water crashing up against the waves. They have, how if you've ever visited somebody in jail, how you sit in a little cubicle, you pick the phone up and you talk. They have interactive things like that with people that were incarcerated wrongly, people that were incarcerated for the right reason but done wrong in prison. They have people that were, former slaves talking about stuff. It's like when you pick the phone up, they pick the phone up and they're talking to you. There's real quick, you know how you have dogs. Say if you're a dog trainer, you go to buy a dog and they have them in pens. They used to keep slaves in pens like that. So one of the things that really shut me down, we walked through these little pens. It was like 8 of them, 4 on each side, and they had holograms in them. And when you walked up to them, the hologram activated. And this lady said, "You see my kids? I can't find my kids. I'm worried about my children." And then 3 cells down, the children are in there asking about their mom. When that happened to me, I had to shut it off. I had to get out of there. So these are the kind of eye-opening things that make you just give you a glimpse of what the experience was. And then you see newspaper clippings, you see laws, you see it's full of information. So yeah, let's keep it going, man. But yeah, y'all gotta go.
That will be February 28th, you said, right?
Yes, February 28th. It starts at 9 o'clock. We're leaving 9 o'clock sharp. Again, if you want the information, go to Atlanta Cast Network on YouTube and type in Freedom Ride 2026. The link will pop up. Click on it. It'll give you all the information, everything you need, and what we're doing and why we're doing it.
All right. Well, fellas, as I said in our opener, Super Bowl 60 has come and gone. Oh, am I the only one who thought it didn't feel like a Super Bowl? Seahawks took the victory 29-13 over the Patriots.
It was a Super Bowl. See, I think what it is those were nobody's teams. For lack of, I know a lot of Patriot fans here in Atlanta, and I know a lot of people that could have been Seahawks fans when they were Legion of Boom. So I think the reason people feel like this was not a Super Bowl is because those are not popular teams. Like say the Falcons or say the Cowboys or the Eagles. They're not teams where millions and millions of people are going to be there just because those two teams or one of those teams are in the Super Bowl. And don't get me wrong, Seattle has a lot of fans, and so do the Patriots, but this wasn't one of those big hoopla Super Bowls. So I think with no high-powered offense, like going up and down the field, it made it boring to the non-football fans. So I think it was a great game. I think it was well coached. The fluke turnovers that they did have it, with the exception of the one interception he threw, which was just a stupid pass. That was an excellent football game. Very well coached and very well executed, I gotta say. Cause that cornerback for the Patriots, max contract coming up for him, boy. Cause he stayed never getting blew out. Number 0, Rodriguez.
The cornerback, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez, whatever. But yeah, I see a max contract in his future. He played Deion Sanders like he was Camp Bailey, like he played his position. He kept them in the game. He truly did. But yeah.
Reason it was a football game. You didn't have the two high profile, as you would say, quarterbacks playing. You did have might as well say one of the blue blood franchises in the New England Patriots. And you got to give kudos for their season. Hell of a turnaround for them going from winning 4 games to making the Super Bowl. First year head coach and Mike Vrabel on the Patriots squad. He was former of the Tennessee Titans. Same thing over in Seattle. The dark side, I will question anyone and everyone because we pulled up their stats. The dark side defense, as they call themselves on the Seattle side, arguably is one of the best statistical defense in history right now.
Of the Super Bowl.
What they did this past year, this season. If you pull up their stats, they were number 1 in a lot of categories. They held opponents to 17 points per game. They held opponents to 29 yards rushing. That is phenomenal. And they turnovers. All of us knew on this panel that this was going to be a defensive struggle. So if anybody looked at this game as it was going to be high power offenses going back and forth, no. Me as a football fan, it was a form of a snooze fest because we did see field goals being kicked. And you see when, as this man likes to say, coaching is being implemented at its highest degree, because Seattle's head coach is a defensive-minded coach. He put in a game plan and they stuck with it. You have McDaniels, who's supposed to be the guru offensive coordinator, had no answer for Seattle's defense. And what they do, they stick to their game plan. They told their quarterback, don't turn the ball over. We're going to run the ball and we're going to win this football game. And you see that the running back got the MVP award as he should.
Yeah, they were trying. They were trying their damnedest to give it to Darnold. The commentators even said when he broke the long run and then it was called back for holding. Yeah, that almost secured his MVP. And I'm saying to myself, what you mean security? If not for him, they wouldn't have what they have. But again,
a lot of times he was throwing the ball in coverage too.
The first drive of the game.
Yes, sir.
Steps away from pick 6.
Yeah.
I want to take away from the Patriots season, but the big thing that everybody's been saying leading into the game was they had the easiest road in the NFL to get there.
They still beat 19 professional football teams. So they can miss me with all that easy road. They were pros. Bottom line. Because they started out 1-4, right? No, that was 1-3. Who was it? I'm sorry, Kev. Who was it started out 1-3? Was it Seattle or was it New England? They were 1-3 34 games. 1-2. They lost 2 of their first 3 games, and then they went on a 9-game win streak.
Patriots started 2-2.
So it had to be Seattle.
Let me see here.
I think they were 1-2. They lost another one.
Seattle lost their opener. I want to say I thought Seattle lost.
Yeah, they lost their opener to San Fran.
Yeah,
and then they were 3-2 by the week 5.
What we could do say that I know Minnesota's kicking themselves in the butt right now.
No.
A great redemption for Sam Darnold because he was almost on the verge of being a bust from since last year. The numbers that he put up in Minnesota. And then you to move on and do this. This shows you again, these are professional football players, ladies and gentlemen, and you put them in the right system with the right coach and the right players, they can be successful. We'll sit here and say, oh, this guy's a bum, this guy's, he's no good. or whatever. But hey, here you go. Great redemption for Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold had the luxury of having the number one defense in the league. You know, he led the league in turnovers.
Yeah,
He had
I
20.
agree.
So let's not say he was on the verge of being a bust. He just didn't lose the game for him.
I'm talking about his career.
Oh, okay, yeah, but you talking about from Minnesota to now, he was on the verge of being
no, from his whole career. From he got drafted, he's been on several teams, the Jets. He's been on Carolina. He had a cup of coffee with you guys. He went to Minnesota. Minnesota got him back on track a little bit to show he had some form of potential. Don't get me wrong. He had an all-world wide receiver over there, of course. And
on both teams in Minnesota and here.
So now you bring him here, and all we need you to do in Trent Dilfer fashion, don't turn the ball over.
But he did. Now in the playoffs he didn't, but in the regular season he did. So you know, I ain't gonna say we. People like to give a person all the credit when they do something good versus giving them what they deserve. If he had 20 turnovers, he led all NFL with turnovers. Don't say he had a hell of a season because he didn't. He had a hell of a team. You get what I'm saying? So if it was on his shoulders, like how it used to be on Brady's shoulders, how it was on your quarterback's shoulders, how it's on Dak's shoulders. When Dak throws for 5,000-6,000 yards and they still don't win the playoffs, they blame Dak. No, that's backwards. You get what I'm saying? When your quarterback don't do something, they blame him. No. I mean, when Philadelphia don't do something, they blame your quarterback. People are names to problems that don't belong to them. You know, and I think Sam Darnold is getting too much credit. Not that he's not a good quarterback. And I say good, he's not great.
Okay, so hang on. So go to this question: game manager or game changer? Game manager. Game managers win Super Bowls.
Yes, they do. But are they not trying to make him great?
Not right now. But what it is.
Did you watch Chris? Did you hear Chris Collins?
No.
You got to take Chris Collinsworth with a grain of salt.
But he's on that.
Collinsworth.
You had to see people talk about it.
Collinsworth, whoever's playing in the game, he will ride them like a Texas pony. So whoever's playing, he jumps on whatever bandwagon he can.
That with how he was talking, like,
that's what he does. But they selling the quarterback also. You know, they got to sell that position when the game is being played. And you really, so that's what happens.
You know, the one good thing Chris Collinsworth said that I think everybody missed it. When New England couldn't move the ball, he said it right there. They need to spread the offense. If they keep running out of this set, they're going to 4-man rush them to death because they can't stop. But if you put 5 wide receivers out there, run a slant, run a hook, run an out, and run a deep, that's going to make them change the defense.
But see, the problem is they're ladies and gentlemen, you got to bring the arms out. Their problem is on their team, Skip, New England, since a Randy Moss type of player, they don't have any receiver that can take it over the top like that.
They can outrun them.
They have a running back now that can take it to the house at any given time, but he's a gadget type player. And but again, they was getting to him with four linemen.
Exactly.
So
But the thing is, they were getting to him with 4 linemen because the cornerbacks and the safeties were doing such a good job.
That's a fact.
But if you put 5 receivers out there, have them run stop and goes, have them run a hook, have them run a slant. Look at what they started to do in the second half. They didn't accomplish it. They didn't have no eye-opening numbers. But if you run a 4-yard slant and get 3 yards, run another 4-yard stop, get 3 yards, it makes them adjust. And they did not make the defense adjust.
You're right. I can see where you're coming from. My pushback on that would be you playing to the defense's strengths then, because now we know you're not running the football.
But that'll open up the run, though, D.
I'm saying if you got them many people out there, think what you said, 5 wide.
Okay, and who's the best running quarterback this year?
Wasn't Drake May?
Who's the best scrambling quarterback this year?
That was Drake May.
It was Drake May.
It was Drake May, D.
17 yards a game or something like that. You know, I said scrambling. I ain't talking about rushing now like Lamar.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying.
No. I'm talking about getting out of trouble and saving his team has been drinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And the 2 or 3 times he took off, he got 15, 16 yards.
Yeah, I get you.
So have 5 receivers out there where they got to do their job and have him roll out. It changes the dynamic.
Okay.
We're talking about a superstar offensive coordinator who didn't adjust.
Well, and the all-star left tackle that everybody loves out of New England, Will Trent, let up 14 pressures. He didn't even talk to the media after.
Yeah, that dude was working him. He was working the hell out of Trent.
Oh.
Yeah, come on. You come on. Come on with it. Come on. I'm waiting on it. Come on.
Lawrence.
Come on. Say it. Come on, fella. Come on.
That's your boy.
That's his boy.
DeMarcus Lawrence?
That's your boy.
Hey, you know what? South Carolina native, so I can't even be too mad.
There you go. He was working him. He was working him like he was 10 years younger, man.
Now, I believe had D-Law been able to get kept in Dallas, we still could have gotten rid of Parsons and been okay.
D-Law left first.
No, that's what I'm saying. If we could have gotten DeMarcus Lawrence to stay, I think that when we lost Michael Parsons, it would have just been like, okay.
Oh, okay. Huh? Man.
That's the man right there. He was the man for 7 years, 7, 8 years before Parsons got drafted for us.
Yeah, that's fact.
So, right.
Seattle, shout out to Seattle, man, for a hell of a football game. And the execution is what matters here. We're talking about the coaching aspect of it, but the coach can only tell you what to do. You got to go out there and do it. So yeah, you're right. They are elite.
My question would be to you guys, because this was posed in another chat, comparing them to the Legion of Boom.
I think the Legion of Boom had a different edge.
They did because they had headhunters back there. They said it was headhunters.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm
gonna say this. The secondary were headhunters. This defense here, without some of the guys, Dexter Lawrence, we got the other guy that came from the Giants that's on the D-line. This is a complete defense because we don't know where the heat coming from. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You had Earl Thomas. You had
you had to run the ball against Legion of Boom. You had to be able to have a running game against Legion of Boom.
Yeah, this team here, they can play you any way you want to in a phone. Yeah. However you want to get it, we gonna bring it to you.
But see, now Laurie was snubbed, but he got him a ring.
Right. But you know who figured them out a little bit? The Rams.
The Rams. The only one going.
Rams have everything they have. They can match them. So where you can't cheat, you can't say, you know what, I'm gonna let him go one-on-one. And there are some cornerbacks that can match up with anybody one-on-one. So don't take that out of context. But the Rams have the formula to beat them.
Yeah, because they got two
and the personnel.
Two Pro Bowl wide receivers, all pro wide receivers. You got an MVP quarterback there, and they had a running game. Barring a fumble on a punt, we would be having a different conversation today. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So there you go.
All right, fellas. Well, let's go ahead and get into this year's Hall of Fame class. I'm just going to read the names down the list here real quick. We had Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and Roger Craig. What do we think? What do we know? Anything we disagree with? We talked about Belichick a couple of weeks ago being snubbed.
I know, but what's this? Kev, do you have the list of everybody that was up? Well, everybody that was in the final pairing before they picked them?
It's a lot because
I know it's a lot of them because it's the whole thing, but I know they break it down to say 10, and then they vote again, and then they get the final however many they're going to go. Is there a list of that?
It's a lot.
Let me see if I can get the top 10.
Belichick and Kraft were up, right?
Yes, and
they weren't the only two big names that were up. But to answer your question, why you're looking that up, all those guys are deserving, every one of them. If you want to rank them, I think Luke Kuechly was the less reserving of the ones deserving of the ones that got chosen. Roger Craig, in my opinion, should have been in there.
So you got Luke Kuechly. This is his second year of eligibility. So
right.
This is
I've
second
got
year.
the top 15 here.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You got Vinatieri was his second year.
Should have been first ballot.
Second year. Okay, so this Larry Fitzgerald is a first ballot, and Drew Brees is a first ballot. Roger Craig went on the seniors finals list.
Right, because he should have been in, but it's what it is. Go ahead, Kev.
You want the top 15?
Yeah.
All right. Willie Anderson coming in at number 1. Drew Brees, Tyree Evans, Larry Fitzgerald at 4, Frank Gore at 5, Torrey Holt, sorry. Luke Kuechly ended at 7. Number 8, Eli Manning. Number 9, Terrell Suggs. Number 10, Adam Vinatieri. Number 11, Reggie Wayne. 12, Kevin Williams. 13, Jason Witten. 14, Darren Woodson. And 15, Marshall Yonda. 16 and 17 were Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft.
Now, I got to say this. Trey Sills was supposed to be in there before Luke Kuechly.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. In my opinion, Terrell Suggs supposed to be. Well, Torrey Holt been getting snubbed for a couple of years, so you taking Torrey Holt over Larry Fitzgerald. Torrey Holt is a Super Bowl champion. We pulled up who?
Larry Fitzgerald. Didn't he get one with the Cardinals?
No, Larry Fitzgerald didn't win. They didn't win.
That's right. They lost that. Yeah, that's 2007. Yeah.
We pulled up the criteria and what you can do, Skip, in y'all leisure and Kev. Pull up the criteria. They have a criteria for quarterbacks, every position basically. We was reading off some stuff, and I'm not gonna bring up the person's name that we was talking about. Was he a Hall of Fame quarterback? And but it's interesting some of the stuff that they do. Luke Kuechly, I think he's a Hall of Fame type player, but not over Suggs. Come on now.
And he's first ballot, right, Luke Kuechly?
No, second year.
Okay. Now watch this. You said something interesting, and we're gonna get right back on this topic. I just want to bring this to light. You said there's criteria to be put into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And Terrell Owens didn't meet that criteria.
Well, remember they changed some of the stuff
for him.
Yeah.
And then they put it back like it was supposed to be. Randy Moss said on Fox or whichever station he's on, he said if you never played the game, if you never coached the game, you shouldn't have a vote. That's the bottom line. He said, I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with this, but I don't care. Y'all snuffing Bill Belichick, got all of these people in an uproar, but none of these people, including Randy Moss, were upset when T.O. got snubbed. But again, we're not going to get off subject. I think in those 5 name, Luke Kuechly is the less deserving. Not that he doesn't need to be there, but there are people with better resumes than his at his position that didn't go in 2 years of eligibility. My opinion.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. All right, fellas. Man, I wish Abe was here. But he is not tonight, so we're going to get into story of the weekend here. Man, this is a wild one, so I'm just going to
Did you read it?
Yeah. So I'm going to read this little article I got here. I was the guy that hid whenever the teacher asked us to read from class. So just bear with me if I stumble through this a little bit.
I can do it if you want me to, Kev. But
no, I got it. We're good. We're good. WNBA star Rakia Jackson told police that she broke up with Pierce, ending a 3-year relationship. Rakia blocked James' number. Blocked his number so he couldn't reach her. Instead, he used another phone to text her.
Yes, Dakota. Go ahead. I was replying to the question. Can we see his comments? But yes, Dakota, we can see him.
This Friday, she texted him to leave her alone and she wanted nothing to do with him. Saturday morning, while driving, she noticed that he was following her in his Lamborghini. He allegedly got out of his car and tried to open her door. Rakia accelerated away and drove towards the police department. He got in his car, followed her, and then tried to rear-end her near the police station. When she tried to back out, he collided head-on with her car, and police arrived and ordered Pierce to the ground with guns drawn. When
he also hit a police car.
I'm sorry?
He also hit a police car and all that.
Well, I'm getting there. James got back into his car, locked it, and then started driving away, hitting a police officer in the knee. Pierce Jr. crashed at an intersection, attempted to run away, and then resisted arrest from many officers. Skip, I said to D before we got on air that this dude will get at least 5 years for this. I think he'll serve 2.5 or 3, and then he'll probably get probation. But his football career is done.
Deservedly so. I don't understand these cats when they get money. They feel like they're above the law. As much trash as I talk, as much as I say I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. If I'm wrong and the police pull up on me with guns out, my mouth closes. I do what they say, especially if I know I've broken the law and I'm going to jail regardless of who I am. I shut up. This could have been a suspension, a fine, maybe some small jail time, whatever he did or didn't do. Well, at that time, if he had stopped when they first pulled it out, he wouldn't have assaulted the police officer or nothing. Got damage to property, probably he didn't hit her, so no domestic violence would have been there. So it would have been something simple, a big fine. I get to play football and live my life and find me another one. So yeah, whatever he gets, it should be ×2 for stupidity. Yeah, I don't get it. Randy Moss did it, and he got lucky. If you guys remember back when he was in Minnesota, he got an argument with a meter maid. He was moving his car because she was writing a ticket, and she stood in front of the car. So he drove at 2 miles an hour and pushed her down the street, maybe a half a block or so. They tried to charge him with assault on the police, all kinds of. They trumped up the charges and ended up having to throw him out because they went at him too hard versus just hitting him in the head like they should have, and it would have cost him. But he learned and he moved on. So this right here, a message needs to be sent, and it will be.
2 counts. I'm sorry, D. Real quick. 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. That's 2 felonies. Aggravated stalking. I don't know if that's felony or misdemeanor. Let's see here. Fleeing or eluding police with lights and sirens. That's a felony that they can add on. Aggravated battery involving law enforcement officer. That's a felony.
Hold on real quick. See, this is what police do. What people that don't understand how breaking the law do. They charge him with 2 counts of aggravated battery on a police officer. He only hit 1 police officer. So what they're trying to say is he kept doing it. He didn't hit him at 1 time. So that charge,
but he hit his girlfriend's car. That's the aggravated. That's the second one. One's for the police. One's for the girlfriend's car.
Oh, I thought you said it was 2 counts on the policeman.
No. There's 2 counts. No.
Okay.
2 counts total of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. The deadly weapon is the car.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And then you said something else. The last part. The last one you read off was what?
Fleeing and eluding, and then resisting arrest. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he should get 5 years minimum. And yeah, you'll be playing in Germany somewhere, wherever there's another football league, but you won't never play under the shield no more.
This is the part of the Falcons organization that has, every time the Super Bowl seems to come around, something weird happens with the Falcons. It's either if they plan in it or some type of bad press goes on. And this team is becoming, I ain't gonna say it's like a curse almost of what goes on with this organization. And this is my thing. We all look at the draft. He fell out of the first round. Well, he was falling out the first round because of some off the field issues he had going on in Tennessee. So they knew something was there. Secondly, now the reports are coming out what was going on in training camp, that he was a loose cannon and he out there going wild in training camp after the vetting players. And of course, you trying to make a name for yourself because you coming into the league. Cool. But you guys got to understand, if these young ladies, men, women, whatever, you were at the football honors at the Super Bowl out in San Francisco. You left that, got on a flight. So you damn near, was this premeditated that you was finna go after this girl?
Of course.
You caught a flight. And if I'm a defense attorney, any DA could use this against him if this is the case. You caught a flight all the way from California to Florida to do what?
I'm going to talk you out of it.
If you read the reports that's out, she blocked him on social media. She blocked phone numbers. He was calling from different phones, looking for this young lady. That's where this stalking is coming in there. Luckily, and she is a WNBA player. This young lady is just not no regular old person. You know what I'm saying?
Mama.
She plays basketball. And this is the part now where all these different reports and stuff are coming out. It's a shame that his mother got up in the draft and spoke on his behalf before he got drafted to say how he had changed, what the sacrifices she had made, so forth, for him to be there. And this is how, not just this young lady, you honor your mother in this way by going out like this. If you see the video footage, the cops, it took about 5 or 6 of them just to jump on him. And he was slinging them off like little kids.
Nobody should have put that taser on him. Nobody should have did.
Oh, I shit. To be honest with you, I don't think the taser would have did nothing to it.
Somebody that ain't never been tased. That taser brought down 700 to 400 miles per minute.
Put that pepper on him. I think that would have stopped it.
But then they still got to deal with him with the pepper. They still got to grab him. They got to get that pepper on them too.
So my thing is, you waste your career. He signed a $16 million guaranteed contract. He got $8 million up front as a signing bonus. So it depends. I guarantee you, we get a hold of that contract. Is verbiage in there because of whatever he had done.
Of course.
Beforehand.
Now watch this. They were talking about this the other day. It's domestic violence is one, and there was something else. The stalking don't fall under domestic violence, but you notice every report has domestic violence charges. You get what I'm saying? Stalking is not a domestic violence charge, but they're making it that way because of what you just said, the verbiage in his contract. Violating some of that verbiage, domestic violence is the major one, is the first one, and then they can nullify his whole contract.
Well, domestic violence is already in a domestic violence issue in the NFL, and then will cost you your livelihood, basically. I don't know if the young man will be able to redeem himself. I know the bond was like 20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20,000. So that majority the majority of the charges, though, is crazy. It's not against the girl. It's against the police.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
But that's what I'm saying. But look what it says right here. On our header, arrested on domestic violence charges. Where were the domestic violence charges at?
So
talking about.
Well, all right. What's going to be interesting is, and I doubt they'll come out to the public, but they'll be in court records. The text messages that he was sending to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because the following her is one thing, but if he took that plane ride, he was probably sitting there texting her the entire time during the honors.
But like what you saying, Kev, is correct. Because what I'm understanding, when I'm trying to figure out, how do you get from, if you read it, she says she knows him following her in the car. So did he go to the house and wait on her?
If he flew there, where was the Lamborghini?
Probably the airport.
That's what I'm going at, Skip.
He left from the same airport that he came back to. I'm sure the car was there.
Well, that's fine
Oh,
and dandy, Kev.
okay.
He flew back, but she states she noticed him following her on the street in the car. So how do you know where she was? What were you doing? And for this young lady to say he's behind me and when she notices him, is this where all this is going on?
I'm willing to bet you they were communicating. She blocked one phone, but he probably had access to probably a burner phone. I don't know. But in order for him to find her, he had to have gotten information from her to where she was.
Somebody told him where she was. Somebody told him where she worked.
Now this is total speculation of what I'm about to say,
Okay.
but it's going to track with what we know about the dating game today and how the gene pool and everything is. I can almost say that it was probably a situation of he's sitting here blowing her up and she was on her way to go maybe hang out with the girls, maybe hang out with another dude. And she was saying, oh, well, fuck, F you, I'm going to do this right now. I ain't got time for you. Something along those lines where she gave up her location.
Now, that's feasible. I can believe that because he had to know where she was.
Or like you said, she stays there. He then sat somewhere and waited for her to come out, and he followed her. But you got to be somewhat of nutball to do you got the money to fly where you want to, but that thing is undefeated. Everybody knows it's undefeated.
That patch.
It is undefeated.
Anything for the nookie.
That's worse than a nicotine patch.
So certain things is undefeated. It's taking down many countries and empires and started wars. So hey, hey man, I'm telling you.
But again,
what I was saying, I'm sorry, Skip. What I was saying, $8 million up front. That other 8 is gonna look real ugly if that's none and voided. That's voided, and then you got to give back that signing bonus.
I don't think so. Didn't he play a year already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they might try to get a portion of it, but they can't get all of it back.
And they ain't got no first round pick. I feel sorry for the organization because you got a new coach coming in. You didn't fire the GM. You fired your previous coach. These are one of the reasons why they don't have jobs, ladies and gentlemen, because you went out and picked this guy. You knew he had some issues. The Falcons are not known for getting rough riders to come play for them with a sketchy pass. They don't do that. And they took a chance on this guy.
But see, the thing is
crazy with how many Georgia players get in trouble.
Watch your mouth, please. Don't start there.
But this goes to show why the whole front office should have been fired. But then the hiring of a coach before a general manager didn't make no sense at all. And that just goes to show you about the people that's running the organization. They have no idea what the hell they're doing.
That's a fact. I agree.
Nobody hires a truck driver that doesn't have a route coordinator. Oh, well, where I'm going. Well, we got to hire somebody, so just sit still. That don't make sense. You get what I'm saying? So this organization needs to be overhauled from the top down. It's kind of like, and Kev, this ain't no shot, kind of like the Cowboys. They need to start with the head, change that head, and I think people will they'll have their pick of who can come to Dallas if they get Jerry out of there. To where he's just a skybox guy. Shut up and watch.
There's only one guy. There's only one person that can get Jerry out of that seat. God. When he says it's Jerry's time, it will be a new day in Dallas. But until then.
I'm just concerned if we talking about this domestic violence issue with these athletes as we get ready to go into another new league year and the draft is coming up. It seems like it's getting the time frame for these athletes that are getting in trouble seems like to me it's getting younger and younger. If you think about it, these guys are getting all these bukus of money coming out of college at the average age of 20, 21, 22. at the young end of the side of it, and no guidance. They say they have this rookie symposium in place, but I think something else has to be done because this is becoming a everyday thing. Either they racing cars, DUI, wrecking, or they putting their hands on women, or getting themselves in a domestic dispute of some kind.
So I got a little bit of another theory here that I think is very important. I'm not going to reveal the name of the establishment, but I know somebody who knows some folks with a college out here, a college that's well known and did pretty well this year. Players can't, obviously, there's all types of anti-doping things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are these new things called peptides. Peptides are 100% legal. You can buy them online. You can go to the store. The doctor can give them to you, whatever. But they do all the same things that steroids do. So I know that there are college programs that are able. So basically, to answer the question of why this keeps happening, I believe they found a way around doping laws, and we see athletes bigger, faster, and stronger than ever. And that is obviously raising testosterone levels.
Oh, I understand where you're going.
When your testosterone is through the roof, you don't have that
control.
Complexive thinking. This is the best decision making. Everything is you're in a constant state of fight or flight.
Right.
So I think that could be some of it. Because we know the training regimens and diets and everything that these guys are on.
Right. But even with some of the things you just said about the racing and et cetera, some of this stuff is just teenage stuff, is what it is. The race cars, like the incident with a boy kicking in the door. They found out it was a joke and it was his own door, but they blowed it up 131 charges. You get what I'm saying? So when it gets sensationalized like it did, people take it and run with it, but it's just teenagers being teenagers. We all did it to some degree. Some of those things, I ain't never don't drag with no domestic violence, nothing like that. But it's always been done. But now there's a bigger eye on it or target on it because of the involved. These kids need to understand that now their character is going to be put in question from the day they set foot on a college campus for stuff like what Mr. Pierce did. Stuff like what the young Captain Lacey went through, and come to find out it wasn't his fault, et cetera. So if you don't start it, there's nothing. You don't start a fire, there's nothing put out, so to speak. So quit thinking you can get away with it. Quit thinking it's okay. I always did it, because if you're looking for employment from somebody else, especially for the kind of money that these kids are making, you got to be pretty much clean now. You can't take a chance of falling out of the first round or getting blackballed because you said the wrong thing to the wrong people. Shut up and get your money and then do what you want to do. Charles Barkley has no filter because he got his money. But before he got all that money, he was just the round amount of rebound playing basketball. Once he got, secure with his bank account and everything else, he made a commercial saying, "I'm not a role model." And they didn't have what is it now? They didn't have cancel culture back then because we didn't have the internet. But he got on the news and said it. "I'm not a role model. Your parents should be role models." And they tried to blast him in the newspapers. But he's always been that way. It's just that once you get secured, then you can be who you want to be because they have no control over you there. But these kids now better realize, like we said a couple of weeks ago, the NFL will be flag football before long. Anybody can play flag. Yeah. So that's what that man with that kid. An example needs to be made, not because he's black, it's because of what he did. And I'm quite sure he ain't the only person that's done it. He's just the only person that's got caught for.
You have the other kid, the other former player. Unfortunately, he murdered his girlfriend. We got that in the news this past couple of days. Former Ohio State football player. I'm waiting on Kev to come back with that information.
Okay.
murdered his girlfriend. That's why I said we don't want stuff to get to that extreme with some of this stuff. And I agree with what Kev says. These guys are gladiators. Athletes are a form of gladiators, especially football players. It takes a special type of person to play football because of the violence that takes place. And some of them, when you do have mental issues and things of this nature, because myself, I've played with some head case players on a team before. And damn, we were scared of them to play with them. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, we didn't have on, they knew the right colors to hit at the,
Once I put the pads on, I became that person. Like I'm letting you know I'm hitting everything come across my path.
Yeah, at certain times. So you think about it and you like, man, it's got to be something, done. And if everybody don't know that the NFL has its own FBI. So these kids are getting looked at when the potential is there. They're starting at the middle school level, into the high school level, into the college level, where when they say, hey, Skip has the potential to be the #1 pick in the draft, well, you know what? We got 40, 50 million on the table waiting. I need to go back and see his 6th grade teacher and see, did he get in any fights in middle school? Did he ever slap a girl, or did he ever have any altercations of any kind? Because that's how you get this stuff. You see what I'm saying? So you be like, and we talked about this, Skip. Remember we talked about this a couple of drafts back when people was falling in the draft and you were wondering why. And we was like, oh, that dude's a baller, or this dude is this and this dude is that. And we couldn't figure it out until we found out, oh, he had an incident in middle school where he was a shoplifter and this, that, and the third, and lost them millions of dollars long later on because they went back to go find some information.
But we also had the racist part of it rear his head too a couple of years back. Remember Sam, the linebacker that came out gay before the draft?
Yes.
That's the only reason he fell in the draft, because he said, I'm gay. Because he was a monster on the football field, but that hurt him. And in my opinion, people take this movement that's going on now where I can say what I want and you got to adjust to me because I feel a certain way, and making it more than what it was. If you didn't throw it out there that I identify as he, she, or it, just go on about your life. Everybody doesn't need to say, I agree with you. No, that's not how it should be. Well, with this community and that community, we expect this. No, you want that. And okay, one on one hand and shit in the other.
In that case, Skip, I think he was thought he was going to boost it, a level up. His jersey sold. The other guy from the Raiders, somebody talked to him and told him what to do or whatever he said. He waited after he got drafted and made the
There
team.
You go. And that's the difference. And that's the difference. The boy was he was a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Sam, last name?
Sam. Some Sam.
Oh, something Sam. Well, Sam was his last name. But
Michael Sam. You talking about the guy?
Michael Sam's.
He was a top 10
out of Missouri.
Yeah, he was an SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
He was a top 10 pick until he opened his mouth.
Yep.
You could have waited 2 hours. You know what I mean? But again.
But you know what? That was a little bit different since he was the first openly gay player. That's kind of why his career ended.
Yeah.
But it was ended when he opened his mouth.
True.
He never got the chance that any first rounder would have gotten. Any second round. I think he went in the 3rd round, right?
He went late.
He dropped big time because of what he said. Not that he wasn't a monster on the football field, because in college, his teammates knew he was gay. But that didn't stop him from being a terror out there. But you want to cut out
exactly what you're saying. He should have been a terror for a year in the league and then said it.
He should have signed his contract and then said it. You see what I'm saying? So you want to, in my opinion, D, I don't think he was thinking of boosting his money. I think he wanted to prove a point. They're going to draft me anyway because I'm a monster.
No. Not him boosted his money, because that community gets behind and they will push.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Someone push that agenda in certain ways, and some of them weaponize some of it a little bit. But you know, it is what it is. Because like I said, the guy from the Raiders, when he came out, his jersey shot the #1, and we were like, "Who is this guy?"
Right. But he was under contract.
There
And he
you
was
go.
performing. And he was performing.
And he was performing. Yes, yes, he
Yes.
was performing.
Sam was a byproduct. He was a seat filler. You know, is he going to get in this game and blah 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 blah. You know, it's all his own fault. I don't get it. I mean,
You know, but it ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. Look, I tell all the gay folks I know, you do you. Just don't try and do me, and we ain't got an issue. Skip, you remember my homeboy Tonio from Camaro Nation?
Yes,
you know Tonio.
Yeah.
Tonio's one of the coolest gay guys, one of the coolest guys I know. You know what I mean?
And we'll come up to you and give you the bro hug and everything, and you go on about your business. Exactly. But see, you know, the one thing about that, Kev, is most of the people you and I know on in our crossings here with the car scene, they understand who's who. They know, and whoever they are, that flamboyance and all of that stuff that, you know, we like to say we hate. You keep that to when you're around your people or whenever. But when you're around people that we're going to touch you for you, but don't come over here with trying to be more something that you're not. You get what I'm saying? Hey, I'm cool with it. I ride in the car with them. We laugh, we talk, we go eat together and everything. But, you know, hey, I respect who you are. One of the guys that was on one of our podcasts, Hulk, he's married to a man in his house, ate dinner with him. We went out together, hung out together. But, you know, when he got into a conversation that weren't right, I'm like, all right, man, I'm out. Peace. All about my business. So why can't we all just be that way? But again,
Hulk's different because ain't nobody gonna say nothing to Hulk about the way he swings. That's a big dude. They call him Hulk for a reason.
I know women right now that look at me like, and he'll look at me and shake his head like, Skip, she don't know. She don't.
All right, well, fellas, that's enough there. Man, let's just go ahead and kick off the last takes here. Call it an early night.
Last takes. Dang, you caught me off guard there, Kev. Go to D. You caught me off guard.
All right. We'll move over to D.
Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Appreciate all the new listeners and comments and so forth. We got a lot more going on. Like I say, we got NBA All-Star game coming up. Baseball season is around the corner, and we're gonna keep tackling some of these issues that we see. Coach Abe will be back because we got to get back on his youth. Shout out you guys to AJ Barge, quarterback guru coach out of Carrollton. We got to have him back on the show. He has opened up his own training facility for elite athletes down there in Villa Rica. So we got to make a way out there to see what he's got going on. If you got kids out there that need their kids trained and you're trying to figure out where your kid stands and you don't want to waste a lot of time and money, him standing on the sideline doing nothing on some of these teams, hey, we need to hook you up with Coach Barge, man. But thank you for everyone tuning in tonight.
Okay. Now, first and foremost, thank you guys for tuning in. The few that did, we appreciate it. We enjoy it. We need it. And we also enjoy the commentary back and forth in the chat. The one thing I didn't talk about as much this podcast was the Super Bowl halftime show. It is a hot topic today. It's been since last night where people were complaining it wasn't American, it wasn't this, and why did he do that, and why did he do this? People forget that Puerto Rico is an American territory. It is part of the United States of America, so he is an American citizen. What they didn't do was pay attention. The man talked about his culture, showed it to us, how men and women dance together, the marriage scene, not the karaoke, the dancing, the little carts on the side of the road, and all this stuff here, the culture, the wine, and everything. If you paid attention, you saw all of these things, but you were more focused on what he didn't say, which was he didn't sing in English. That's his choice. A lot of people don't like rap. That didn't stop Kendrick Lamar from rapping. You get what I'm saying? So this is another way that people are being divided, because had President Trump not said nothing about this man 4 or 5 months ago, none of this would have been an issue. So, we can sit here and complain about. I even said to my wife, I was like, I wish they had words up there so we could understand what he was saying, so we could follow along even better. But we paid attention to everything else, the culture scenes and everything else. So it made sense to us. Now, he's a political hot button too, because he was making a point. He was jabbing, or what did they say, stoking the fire.
Poking at the bear.
Yeah, he understood that people were going to complain because he did everything in Spanish, because he has English versions also. So for all of y'all making these posts about what should have been done, and some people were saying that they were racist because they decided to watch another version of the halftime show. I'm under the understanding that there was something else where Kid Rock and somebody else did something on another channel or what have you. I know nothing about it, but I heard a lot of talk about it. But let people do what they choose to do, and let that be. Making light of what somebody else likes or don't like doesn't make sense, and it just shows who you are as a person and what your beliefs are. So that being said, man, I love everybody until they show me they don't love me, and then it's But anyway, peace out. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. That's my last one.
Well, I thought both halftime shows sucked.
Oh, you watched both of them?
I watched both of them just because, if I'm gonna be able to talk about it, then I'd like to witness it. So I watched both of them. You know what? I don't care about, because like Pitbull, Shakira, they've both done the halftime show and they killed it. I have no problem. And here's one of the biggest problems now. I can't say my view without someone. If I disagree with the halftime show for any reason, it's considered racist and I don't like Hispanics and blah, 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 blah. No, here was my problem with it. And Skip, you made the best point ever. Well, for one, 13% of Americans speak Spanish. So I think you just kind of, one of the biggest problems that people have with it is you're basically casting aside 87% of Americans, which is a big number. Mm-hmm. Now, the lyrics, you were so focused on what was going on in the background. The lyrics were not decent lyrics. Now, of course, some of his songs were, but there was one that I had just pulled up earlier because I went and did a little digging. And it was talking about how, she popped an ecstasy pill, but it don't matter. She doesn't know it, but it doesn't matter because she's about to fuck me tonight. So that's just kind of some of the music. Now, however, when you go to the Turning Point USA side, that whole thing, I was just waiting on a preacher to come out. It sounded like when you go to one of those big mega churches and the bands that are on before the sermon, that's what it sounded like.
Oh,
Kid Rock did one song that was, the ball with the ball. That was, one of his big hype, kind of get the crowd going songs. Everything else sounded like Carrie Underwood sounded like, every choir I've ever heard. It was not impressive at all.
Is this the first time they've done that?
Yes.
This is. We're not going. I'll open up a whole nother can of worms today. It's some bull. It's some bull for them to do that.
Well, it goes deeper than that. Erica Kirk is up for a power grab right now because she had her husband assassinated in order to boost her political career.
Also, she had something to do with this?
Oh, it was her event.
Oh, I didn't know. Nothing about it.
Turning Point USA was Charlie Kirk's organization.
But I didn't know about it until this morning. When I started.
His wife hosted this, and it was both of them were stupid. I thought.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Winter Olympics is going on, man. If y'all get a chance, check this stuff out. If it's something alternate, like you like say, football is over with, you ain't into basketball, baseball, or whatever, go check out the Winter Olympics. There's a lot of different events that I check out, and it's interesting the skiing, bobsledding, figure skating if you into that, and hockey. You have the first African American hockey young lady that's playing over in the Olympics ever on the team. So that's amazing. She made history.
I was just going to say also rest in peace to Lindsey Vonn.
Yes.
She is not passed, but her career did.
Yes.
Unfortunately, she tore her ACL a couple of days before. Oh, hang on. She tore her ACL a couple of days before her event in this 100-meter ski or whatever. And she still skied, and she got about a tenth of the way through the course, wiped out, and probably just made it 10 times worse.
Yes. Yes.
ACL was already torn whenever she started this.
Yes.
So whenever she started,
I got to say, kudos to her and whatever, even to try to compete. I know that's because she was getting up in age, because you don't have the window of Olympic athletes to go to the Olympics is very short and slim. And, you know, I know what she was trying to do, but you got to think about long term, what you have your career after the fact. And, man, I know you want to compete for your country, but, hey, hope she gets well. But, boy. But like I said, if any one of you get a chance, check out some of the events, man. If you got Peacock, you can go back and look at some of them. If you miss them and so forth, that to see these athletes now. And now that we're getting older, we can understand like the training today and the regiments they have to go through to compete on this world stage. If I can get him into curling, I'll get him into curling.
I'm gonna watch curling. I like it. I actually like curling. I understand how it works.
Yeah.
So you pushing the iron for.
Yeah.
But I've watched it, you know, in the prelims or whatever, you know, before the Olympics started. I'm like, okay, I get it. You know.
Yeah. So it's interesting events that these people are playing for in their countries. Because you got some people, I just watch football, basketball, baseball, hockey, tennis, or whatever. And then you can see other events that other countries, what are they known for? And you be wondering why, damn, they whooping their butt in that right there. And you go from there.
Either way, red, white, and blue, better than you. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Okay. We will be back next Monday night, same time, same place. Until then, please make sure that you keep the beer cold and the wings lemon pepper, baby. We are out.